It was a real interesting experience in today's session, I won't lie, because I was apprehensive. I was even nervous, as if I was about to step up and attempt a PR in a lift. And it was all because I had somewhat of a test. And it was a simple test. In hindsight, it was simple. And in hindsight, it was kind of easy. And there's a part of me that, whilst I'm proud because I know how hard it was mentally, I know I could have done more, and I know I could have pushed myself a little bit more. But I had to do the test in order to find out. I guess that in many ways was kind of the beauty of it. I didn't know what I was capable of because I've never done it before. And it was simply just covering as much ground as I could on the treadmill in 6 minutes. Anybody who's been here for a little while knows that my relationship with running is practically non-existent. I've never done any form of distance running in my entire life, in any capacity. Like, cardio to me was always playing sports and sprinting. I never did any sort of steady state stuff. So I was nervous. I was scared because I knew that I wanted to do all right. In reality, what did I expect of myself? I believe I should have got 2K in 6 minutes. However, I only got 1.3. But again, because I had no baseline to work off of, I can't be mad, right? And at the same time, like, it also sets me up for success. It means that in the future, it's going to be easier to PR, so to speak, and improve on that time and that distance. So looking at it from that perspective, like, I enjoyed it and I'm excited. Following that, I had some plyos to do, and they were interesting. Like, pogos are a big part of my coach's like philosophy because of like what they provide you with, and the stimulus that they provide you with, and the way in which they bulletproof you for a lot of athletic movements. I then got in a little stretch after that, and then I had what was the one thing I was kind of looking forward to, but in some ways wasn't, because I had a 45-minute assault bike session. However, it was at a pace that, it was very, very specifically at a pace that I was comfortable with. Like, the RPE was 4. So I wasn't allowed to exert myself in any capacity. I had to stay in zone 2. It had to be easy. That was the whole point of it. Now, I won't know until I speak to my coach if I went too easy and was a little bit too cautious, but he made it very specific. Like, he didn't want me sweating, and I'd had enough time to cool down after the 6 minute run, to the point where I was pretty much dry. And then I didn't start to feel myself sweat until the end of the 45 minutes. So using that as a metric, I believe that I stayed on job. I stayed on track. I stayed on pace. But again, that's something I'll definitely have to ask him about. And I need to speak to him about my form as well. Because when we last spoke, I remember we discussed the assault bike. And in that discussion, he referred to how he loves it because of the stretch that you get from it in your lat and the crunch you get in your core and how it mimics a punch. And that made complete sense to me. Even before coaching from him, I used to enjoy using the assault bike whenever I wanted to do cardio, simply because I felt like it mimicked a punch. And because of that, it feels nice, right? So I got a small amount of footage to send to him to see if he wants me to tweak my form in any capacity, because I did spend about 5-10 minutes like fiddling with that at the beginning. However, that was nice, and spending that amount of time on it, it's a different sort of mental challenge, right? It forces you to be patient. It forces you to like relax whilst consistently moving, and try and keep your body as peaceful as it can be during this movement. So again, that was a nice experience in and of itself. It's kind of handy being at a gym where you know a lot of people, because when you're on a fucking piece of equipment for that long, People will just come and chat to you for the sake of it. And that is kind of handy, as it allows you to take your mind off the monotony of the seconds ticking by, and it eats up a lot of time. So that was definitely handy. But yeah, first cardio day in the bank. Whilst I know there's going to be much more difficult ones to come, I enjoyed it nonetheless. So yeah, on to the next one. If you made it this far, thank you very, very much, and I shall see you tomorrow.